Toward the end of this challenging year, we bore the sad news that our beloved faculty member and past president, Henrik Enderlein, had passed away at the age of 46. A distinguished scholar of political economy, Henrik was a defining member of our community since its inception. He joined the Hertie School as a founding faculty member in 2005 and served in many capacities as Associate Dean, Program Director of the Master of Public Policy, and as Program Director of Executive Education. As president from 2018 to 2021, Henrik initiated an ambitious and future-oriented plan to develop the university's research and teaching capacity, establishing 5 new centers of competence and a data science lab, and expanding our faculty by a third. As a professor, he was prolific in supporting the work of PhD researchers. We are immensely fortunate to have benefited from Henrik's inspiring leadership, his deep commitment to the field of governance and public policy, his insightful contributions to European public debate, and of course his singular wit and charm. Passionate about the European project, he was also the founder and director of the Jacques Delors Center and a trusted sparring partner for leaders across the continent. We have lost a dear friend, but his legacy will continue through the people who make up the Hertie School, through our research and teaching, and through our work for the common good. Henrik embodied Hertie love through his unwavering support for our entire community, but especially you, our students, and now graduates. We hope you take the spirit with you too.
Listen to me. There's something you should know if you want to go with me. When I was a little boy around 4, I fell in love with something that I still adore. It isn't here, but it's like gold to me. It shines bright and tenderly. Hey, don't you see? Here the taters falling long and hot, and that salt, powder, nutmeg, and some milk on top. Yes, I am thinking about my favorite dish that I am praising with my mashed potatoes fry. Oh, da 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 ba da ba da. Oh, da 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 ba da ba da da. Now I'm grown up, nearly 34. I left my hometown behind and took the days of yore. But when I eat it now, I feel the same, and I start humming my old mashed potatoes fry.
Dear Class of 2020, dear family members, members of our Board of Trustees and our Supervisory Board, faculty, alumni, members of our administrative team, and friends of the Hertie School. Together with the Dean of Graduate Programs, Christina Ray, and the Dean of Faculty and Research, Mark Kaiser, and on behalf of the entire Hertie School leadership, our faculty, and our administration teams, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our celebration, to our Class of 2020. I know that today's celebration looks very different to how we would have wanted to do this and how to bring us all together. But I hope that over the next hour, we can take a moment to reflect and to celebrate you, the Class of 2020. Many of us are tuning in today from all corners of the world, but most of us are tuning in from all corners of Berlin. In the last year, graduates from the Class of 2020 have returned home or settled in more than 20 countries. But the majority of you have actually remained here in this city of Berlin. I hope that we can celebrate together in person soon. Until then, I'm grateful to have the opportunity today to lead a more formal commencement celebration which recognizes your accomplishments, including the feat of completing your degree at the start of an unprecedented pandemic. Last year, you came together to support one another through the new realities of social distancing and online learning. You were flexible and open to new teaching formats and new digital meeting platforms. You were kind to one another, looked out for one another, and kept up the spirit of Hertie love. That spirit is with us today, and it will continue as you become active members of our alumni community, which I know many of you already are. Together, we will continue to ensure that the Hertie School pushes forward on our mission to strive for excellence in research, teaching, and outreach, promoting active engagement for the common good. Across national or local governments and across ministries, in the private sector or with non-governmental agencies, each of you is taking a part of what you have learned here at the Hertie School to shape a better tomorrow. A tomorrow that looks very different to the one you may have imagined when you first began your studies here. A tomorrow that will be shaped by the experience of the pandemic, but more so by a desire to create fairer and more just societies. So I want to say, congratulations. Let's celebrate.
Dear Hertie School graduates, congratulations. You have achieved so much, and now go out and change the world for better, because we need your ideas and your courage. And please never listen to the naysayers who tell you that things can't be changed, because they can, and you can do that.
I would now like to move on to the introduction of our commencement speaker. Thank you to friends of the Hertie School for contributing your supportive remarks to our graduating cohorts. Another distinguished and vocal friend of the Hertie School is our next speaker, our commencement speaker for this year's graduation celebration. Anne-Marie Slaughter is no stranger to the Hertie School. She has been an active member of our community since our founding, closely involved in shaping our mission, and she was awarded the Michael Enders Prize in 2018, which recognized her for her tireless work in connecting academia, civil society, and policymaking. In 2018, Dr. Slaughter reflected on her work bridging these three sectors, and I quote, "We need all three to solve our public problems," she told our audience here at the Hertie School in her acceptance speech. Her words ring even truer today, especially as we consider the type of economies, societies, and institutions we wish to shape in a post-pandemic world. Dr. Slaughter is the CEO of the Think and Action Tank, New America, and she is Bert Kerstetter 66 University Professor Emerita of Politics and International Affairs at Princeton. From 2009 to 2011, she served as Director of Policy Planning for the United States Department of State, the first woman to hold that position. Upon leaving the State Department, she received the Secretary's Distinguished Service Award for her work leading the Quadrennial Diplomacy and Development Review, as well as meritorious service awards from USAID and the Supreme Allied Commander for Europe. Prior to her service in government, Dr. Slaughter was the Dean of Princeton University School of Public and International Affairs. We are honored that she is celebrating with us today.
Greetings to you all, President Hollerberg, Dean Kaiser, Dean Ray, and former President Enderlein, members of the board, faculty, staff, families, and above all you, the graduates. I am deeply honored to be able to address you. I feel a very special connection to the Hertie School for many reasons, but also because I had the chance to talk to and teach some of you as the Michael Endres Prize winner in 2019. You will forever be defined as pandemic graduates, pandemic students. But I think a better way to think about it is as pandemic veterans. Veterans of a calamity, of a global, national, organizational, and highly personal event in world history. Veterans who have come through something profound and life-changing together. I do not equate learning by Zoom with facing guns on a battlefield, but like veterans, you have faced loss and grief and the many social, economic, and political repercussions of loss and grief across society. And above all, like veterans, you share an experience that will mark you in your own eyes with regard to one another at future reunions and in the eyes of society. Your children and maybe even your grandchildren will ask about the pandemic, the time when the world shut down and everything changed. The key question for all of you, both immediately in terms of can you get jobs and what jobs and where and how you will work and live. So both personally and societally is how much will change as a result of this moment and how will we change it? The patterns of our lives and work and consumption have been changed over the last 18 months. Habits are hard to break and even harder to form. We have done both. But what now? We need sweeping change. We have a chance to build on the many changes that we have made in our behavior. Many of these changes have been available to us for decades, but we were adopting them far too slowly. Changes in how we consume energy, in where and how we live, in what work we see as essential enough to value and pay for, in how we relate to one another, and in the value of care and community over consumption and competition. We need change that is far greater than reform, but short of revolution. Change that is in between restoration on the one hand and reinvention on the other. In the remainder of my time, I want to suggest that we need renewal, a kind of change that brings about a genuinely new world, but is nevertheless still anchored in the past. Renewal looks backwards and forwards at the same time. Re looks backwards. New looks forwards. We must do both at the same time. We must look back and face our pasts with radical honesty. Face our pasts in ourselves, our organizations, and our countries. When I was growing up, I thought that truth, reconciliation, and reparations were for countries like Germany or South Africa. Now I understand that they are also for the United States, Europe, and really probably all countries. We can only go forward if we not only face the past, but keep facing it. This is not like a renovation where we rip out what is old and ugly and dangerous and throw it away. We must put the reminders of that past where we can still see and remember them every day, like the Holocaust Memorial here in Berlin, right at the center of the city. I want to give you 3 lessons of renewal, of how to do it. These are drawn from my own experience of crisis and transformation. As a leader, I went through a deep crisis in 2017. Many people have gone through things that are far worse, but all of you will likely go through something like this at some point in your lives. An external event that deeply shakes your internal confidence and faith in who you are and leads you to ask big questions about whether you are who you think you are and want to be. The first of these lessons is to run toward the criticism. And if you remember nothing else today, I hope you will take away that advice. When things were crumbling around me, I called a board member and said, "What do I do?" And he said, "Run toward the criticism." He said, if you're having an argument with a friend or your spouse and you think they are 98% wrong and maybe only 2% right, focus on that 2%. Focus on the criticism, accept it, learn from it, grow and change. We have to do that as individuals. When you have a boss and you need feedback, insist that you get honest feedback. Don't let other people's worries about how you feel get in the way of the information you need to grow and to learn. We need to do that as organizations, and many of us are going through that process right now, hearing things we don't want to hear but need to hear, and we need to do that as countries. The second lesson is to lead from the center and the margin. Many of you who heard me when I was there in 2019 heard me talk about hierarchies versus webs, the latter where power flows from the top versus the web where power flows from the center. In the latter, we exercise power over people. In the web, we exercise power with people. And I've thought a lot about how to lead from the center. But what I now understand is that is not good enough. When we lead from the center, we also have to lead from the margin. Leading from the center means focusing on the periphery of that web, focusing on the people who are furthest away from the center, asking them what they think, listening to what they have to say, and continually moving them as close to the center as possible, ensuring that everyone in that web is equally treated and equally respected. So run toward the criticism, lead from the center and the margin. And the third lesson is to share power. If we are to avoid revolution, then we have to step down or at least move over. That we includes so many different groups, including all of you. It includes older people like me. We have to step down or at least move aside. White people like me. We have to step down or at least move aside. Traditionally pedigreed people like me and like all of you, that you are here in this audience today getting a Hertie degree means you have already made it by the standards of millions and billions. You are receiving a top flight degree from a top flight institution. You are headed for the corridors of power. You must think about now how to share that power. Europeans, Americans, and European Americans, also like me, must again share power, step down, or at least move aside. And also to people who are not like me, men in every group, The men who have traditionally held power, you too have to step down or move aside. But how do we do this? We can actually cede our jobs. We can retire early. We can find a way to let somebody else take the spotlight. We can split our jobs. I used to be president and CEO. Today, I am CEO of New America, and I have a president who is a partner. We can create leadership teams and councils and other forms of collective leadership that open the circle to many more people. And we can find ways to be truly inclusive, not just with respect to the people who are below us or behind us, as we traditionally think about leadership, but the people all around us, and in how we actually think about what power is and how we exercise it. So congratulations to you all. Go forth as Hertie graduates and pandemic veterans. Go forth and renew yourselves, your organizations, your countries, and the world. Go forth and run toward the criticism. Go forth and lead from the center and the margin. Go forth and share power as widely as possible. The pandemic has shaped your education. Let its possibilities shape your world. Congratulations.
Welcome. I am Mark Kaiser, and before I speak, I'd first like to thank Dr. Professor Slaughter for her speech that she's delivered to us. It was very moving, and I think we've all taken a lot from it. I am Dean of Research and Faculty here at the Hertie School, and so one of my responsibilities here as in my position is the PhD program, which we'd like to now honor. Before we actually confer degrees, though, I would like to start off and think back a little bit to the time in which I was a graduate student. I can remember still very vividly my very first day in graduate school at the University of California, Los Angeles, in which the incoming doctoral students all met with a faculty member of the faculty back at that point, who was this old-timer who used to study political philosophy of the ancient Greeks. And he also looked like he might have been around in the time of the ancient Greeks. He was shortly before retirement and was fairly old. He also had not updated very much. And so he remembered UCLA in the 1970s or so, and he turned to all of us as the incoming students and said, well, for those of you who are just here because you want to make it in the music industry and get a free ride in our doctoral program, let me tell you, we're a serious place. So we all looked at each other in confusion. Everyone, had been selected from very competitive programs, and we were all here to do a PhD in political science, and no one wanted to try to make it big in the music business in Los Angeles. But there's a takeaway from that, right? That not only was my school, UCLA, a serious place, but the Hertie School here is also a serious place. And we hope that you've taken a lot away from your time here at the Hertie School, that you take it very seriously, but that you don't take yourselves too seriously. That you learn in life to have levity when levity is called for, and also harking back to this professor at UCLA, you learn that times change and certain things matter the most. And one of those things that matters the most is community. No matter what happens, we never know what's going to come down the road. So no matter what happens, one thing that's good to have and important is a community of people you know and trust who've gone through the same process with you. Looking around at your fellow PhD students here who are going to graduate with you, these are people you will know for the rest of your careers and the rest of your lives. And when the next pandemic comes, when the next crisis comes, who knows what will come, but you know who your friends are and to whom you can turn for support.
ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folks listening to this. On a hot summer morning of August 2018, our beloved Professor Enderlein showed us this scarf. He told us that he would be there to anoint us as graduates after the school had prepared us over 2 years to understand today and shape tomorrow. While every one of us would have still wished he was here today, life has other plans. And it is in this moment that we must find solace in his body of work, and most importantly, his memory. And that's what I'd like to address in my remarks as your graduation speaker. Memory. As Murphy's Law began wreaking havoc in the world at the beginning of 2020, each and every one of us was facing an unprecedented situation. And when lockdowns began in the month of March, our memories were faced with the challenge of remembering. We were all forgetting our routines, our sleep cycles, our social lives, and as gladiators fought in the aisles of supermarkets for a roll of toilet paper, we definitely forgot that half the world still uses water. As days progressed, the world rediscovered Albert Camus' The Plague, and it was a grim reminder that we are embracing our inner absurdist and forgetting to seek meaning in lives. Isolation was no longer enjoyable after the third batch of sourdough bread or the third week of Zoom meetings. Mental health and domestic abuse crises increased. Authoritarian regimes used the pandemic to clamp down on fundamental rights, and populist leaders continue to exist in its denial. The pandemic exposed the structural inefficiencies that plague our society, and in some cases exacerbated their consequences. The privileged few were quick to paint the pandemic as an opportunity for human unity, but it was far from it. Believing the pandemic is over is clearly a privilege of the West, as the entirety of the global South is still very much on a knife edge. Furthermore, the institutional oppression of minorities in the last year reached a crescendo when an innocent black man was murdered in broad daylight by the very institution that promised to protect him. Old white men intoxicated on Marxian opioids continue to treat women's bodies as political playgrounds and enforce exclusionary policies against the LGBTQ community. Even as we speak, institutional discrimination has not just created but even normalized anti-Muslim, anti-Semitic, and even anti-human beliefs. The anger of the oppressed is often frowned upon and their rage scuttled at infancy. Decor and decorum are more important when having discussions. Nobody is allowed to have opinions because we're not experts, things are complicated, and there are two sides to every story. Our memory is failing us here since we're supposed to do something. But what? Unlike doctors who take the Hippocratic Oath, as policymakers and international affairs professionals, we have no such binding covenant. The current crop of legislators bend and weave to the political and financial might of their masters. And policies that end up being implemented are badly designed, non-inclusive, and do not take into consideration the intersectional aspects of discrimination. And to shape the tomorrow that Professor Enderlein would have wanted, we should work to ensure that every policy must always be designed for the benefit of the lowest common denominator. There is always room for improvement. Even within the Hertie School, there needs to be continued impetus on diversifying the curriculum, faculty, and have an enabling atmosphere to have discussions on topics such as racism without fear or fervor. And for all of this to happen, dear friends of the class of 2020, we must always remember to give importance to humanity in our policy making. We must remember that decorum and nuance cannot hold a candle to the grief of the oppressed. We must remember that humanity will always die tomorrow if we forget to be humane today. Class of 2020, we've been through some difficult times. Some of us are still reeling from the effects of the pandemic, and we still might not be able to see just yet the aftermath of it all. But what all of us have in common is that we have survived. We are here celebrating our graduation in these less than ideal circumstances, but nonetheless, we've made it this far. And in this moment, we should take a second to acknowledge that our milestone has been achieved not just by us, but by our families, our friends, and our loved ones as they can continue to support us in these difficult times. Make sure you thank them all. And the next part of our journey is daunting. As graduates, we have now been thrown into a new beginning. But as the great German poet Hermann Hesse once said, "Und jedem Anfang wohnt einer Zauber inne, der uns beschützt und der uns hilft zu leben," which translates to, "In every beginning there exists an inherent magic that protects us and helps us to live." I wish you the best of luck to discover this magic in your new beginning, and I hope to meet you all at the top of the hill someday. Vielen Dank, and thank you very much.
Dear graduates, dear class of 2020. Dear Tanya and Tanvir, thank you so much for the remarks. It's great to see you here. Your words really resonated with me. Orientation 2018, your first day at the Hertie School, was also my first day. I had just arrived back in Berlin after 2 decades abroad. Everything seemed strangely familiar and strangely unfamiliar at the same time. So our learning journeys at the Hertie School started at the same time. And what unexpected twists and turns did our journey take? You impressed me during that journey. You were curious, engaging, and passionate. You questioned us, as befits public policy students. You petitioned us. And you worked with us towards constructive compromise and communication during the crisis. You showed resilience and grit under adversity, and you supported each other in your studies and in your lives, while you were still on campus together, and when you were connected only on screen. Before your class takes to our virtual stage, I would like us all to take a moment and look back together at your turbulent time with us at the school. To look back and to thank those people who made your time at the school and today's celebration possible and special. Your professors and guest lecturers who, like you, learned about online education in real time. My colleagues who worked tirelessly, often behind the scenes, and during the pandemic, under truly challenging conditions. Communications, curricular affairs, careers, digital learning, examination, student life, and all our service-oriented teams. Your families, partners, friends, peers who watch today, maybe watch with you, who proudly cheer for you now, and who have supported you all the way. Last year I spoke to you on video. Today, at least, I'm standing in an auditorium and can imagine an audience. That gives me hope for a real celebration next year. But let's celebrate you now. Let's celebrate your graduation into a world that is challenging, but that you know you can conquer. A world that is uncertain, but that you can meet with your creativity. A world that is polarized, but in which you know your values. Dear Hertie community in Berlin and further afield, dear President Hallerberg, in that spirit and with my warmest congratulations, I proudly present our class of 2020. dear graduates, dear friends of the Hertie School, our class of 2020.
Hello everyone, congratulations on graduating today. You see I'm wearing this. This is what I wore when I graduated from my master's, and I feel that this year we as faculty are also graduating along with you because you've taught us a whole new way of teaching this year. You also see I'm out in the open over here today because it's a great day, and I would like that every day from now on for you is just as great as this one.
Congratulations for your big day, students!
Hey, you did a great job, and I wish you all the best for your future and the next transitions in your life course.
You did it. You did it. You did it. You rocked it.
You all will be heroes for more than a day. And I and we will be very proud of you.
Hi, my name is Bijan Nashad and I'm a member of the Hertie School Alumni Council. I'm an MPP from the class of 2007.
Hi, my name is Anne-Marie, and I'm the Alumni Award winner from 2015. I'm an MPP graduate from the class of 2014.
My name is Joseph Ayamga, and I'm the Alumni Achievement Award winner from 2014.
Hi, my name is Kim and I'm one of the alumni chapter leads of Germany and Frankfurt.
Hi, I'm Monica Will Silva and I am the Alumni Achievement Award winner from 2018.
And I am Alumni Chapter Lead in Brussels in Belgium.
My name is Katri Bertram. I'm a member of the Hertie School Alumni Council.
My name is Moritz. I'm Chapter Lead of the Rhineland Chapter in Germany.
And I am an Alumni Chapter Lead in New York City.
I'm very excited to welcome you.
To welcome you.
To welcome you.
To welcome you to our growing alumni network.
Our network is active all across the globe in 14 alumni chapters,
countless online events,
and opportunities to engage here in our home city of Berlin or through alumni workshops.
Stay connected with your fellow cohort through Hertie Connect.
Or even better, the Hertie Alumni app.
Our community is full of #HertieLove.
And through the app or the Hertie website, you can stay up to date on events,
research from your favorite professors,
or you can encourage the next generation of leaders here at the Hertie School.
See you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.
And many congratulations on your graduation.
Class of 2020, family members, members of our Board of Trustees, our Supervisory Board, faculty, alumni, members of our administrative team, and friends of the Hertie School. Thank you for joining to celebrate our graduating cohort. We are immensely proud of our graduates and look forward to celebrating their accomplishments and contributions as alumni in the years ahead. See you soon, and best wishes from here at the Hertie School.
2, 1. Don't mind the raindrops, wait till the rain stops. Lose all your blues, laughing at life. No road is lonely, if you would only smile through your tears, laughing at life. Don't live for tomorrow, be happy today. Cast all your sorrow away. Oh, lean back and cheer up, the skies wanna clear up. Lose all your blues, laughing at rot do 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 day. Rat do rat do day. Rat da do rat do day do da rat da da do da rat do day. Rabba dab dab do ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-ba-da-da-da, ra-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba today. Ra-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da today. Oh, rat-tat, rat-da-ba-da-ba-da-do-day, rat-ta-rat, rat-ta-da-da-do-day, rat-ta-rat, rat-ta-da-do-day, ra-ba-da-ba-da, ra-ba-da-ba-da-day. Don't mind it, don't fight it, just wait on, wait on, wait on. Ba-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da, a-dumpity-dup, There's no lonely road unless you're sighing and crying. Ra-ba-da-da-ba-da-da. So take off your shoes, quit the blues, my honey, and love for your sorrows away. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da. Drip, 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 drip. If the rain falls down, never frown, never frown. So now, lean back, cheer up. The clouds will go by, my darling. Get rid of the nasty blues. Do the rabbit, do the rabbit, do the rabbit, do the rap.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Nochmal. 1,
Congratulations.
2, 3.
Congratulations from the Railers.
Nein, es muss noch mehr Energie haben. Sorry, es geht nicht. Nochmal, ich mach's mal.
Warte mal, lass mal
Probier's
auf die
mal.
Ja, du sagst es mal.
Ja. Congratulations from the Railers.
Wow.
I'm convinced. Okay. Danke.